The sky was dawning in an opaque blend of gray and pink, and the mist gathering among the treetops rendered the forest almost dreamlike. Therion, found myself in an isolated clearing where time seemed to have stood still. The dew still shimmered on the leaves like tiny pearls, and the air, damp and cold, carried the unmistakable scent of wet earth. All around, the trees stood like silent guardians, witnesses to secrets long forgotten. In this mysterious setting, every sound, from the gentle bubbling of a nearby stream to the faint rustling of leaves in the distance, made me feel that the past was on the verge of revealing itself. As I walked slowly along the winding trail through the forest, my thoughts became a maelstrom of memories and doubts. I still felt the weight of the scars left by Eredhall and the echo of screams that haunted me, yet something within now cried out for more than mere survival. I sensed that, to move forward, I would have to confront the darkest corners of my own mind, where the secrets of my lineage were buried. The forest seemed to come alive with every step. The sound of the wind turned into unintelligible whispers, as if the very trees were trying to recount stories from bygone eras. It was then that I realized the trail split into two. A narrow, winding passage opened before me. A sort of natural corridor where shadows lengthened and the environment grew darker with each meter I covered. There was something about that passage that exuded the essence of a labyrinth, not only physical but spiritual as well. With the black flame pulsating in my hands, I felt that this was the moment to face the truth I had long feared, to confront my own inner demons. With each step, images grew more vivid. Flashes of a lonely childhood, of restless nights under the weight of abandonment and fear, and moments when pain seemed like the only constant companion. Yet, amidst these anguished memories, glimpses of hope also emerged, as though every painful recollection held, at its core, the seed of rebirth. As the path narrowed further, I began to hear murmurs mingling with the ambient sounds, subtle whispers that seemed to rise from the very ground itself. Suddenly, a series of ancient symbols, carved into tree trunks and stones, appeared before me. Each symbol vibrated with an energy impossible to ignore, as if each one narrated a fragment of the truth about the ancient bearers of the black flame. These signs, I murmured to myself, feeling that every mark was a piece of the puzzle I needed to piece together. The air grew denser, and the sense that I was stepping into a labyrinth of both physical terrain and buried memories intensified.
Quick tip to level up your experience. Read Manhwas and light novels for free. Listen to epic audiobooks. Watch unlimited anime. Play cloud games with no console. And stream the best anime soundtracks. Check the description now and grab your free trials.
Upon entering that natural corridor, the atmosphere changed drastically. The trees, now arranged to form an almost perfect arch, created a passage where the light seemed to bow in reverence. The vegetative walls appeared to whisper with ancient voices, and the ground, covered in leaves and twisted roots, turned each step into a journey into the unknown. This natural labyrinth seemed designed not only to force me to confront the outside world, but also to face myself. Every curve, every fork in the path, was an invitation to revisit parts of my history that I had preferred to forget, yet which now clamored to be uncovered. In one of the narrowest passages, I was startled by a vision, a stone door, half hidden by vegetation, engraved with symbols that shimmered in the faint light. As I approached, I could see that it bore a fragment of an ancient prophecy, something hinting at the redemption of the bearers of the black flame through the overcoming of their own fears. "The key to mastering power lies in facing your ghosts," whispered a voice, and for a brief moment, I thought I heard my own voice echo from within. The vision dissolved as quickly as it had appeared, yet it left me with a sense of urgency and a shiver running down my spine. As I explored the labyrinth, the environment grew ever more symbolic. In one secluded spot, I found a small clearing where stones arranged in a circle formed an impromptu altar. There, a diffused light emanated from fissures in the ground, creating an almost mystical atmosphere. I sat for a moment, allowing the quiet of that space to envelop me. In that instant, intense memories began to resurface. Images of a childhood filled with solitude, moments of rejection, and the constant internal struggle to find purpose. Each recollection emerged like a specter, sometimes painful, other times comforting, and forced me to confront the truth of who I truly was. The weight of all these emotions threatened to crush me, yet at the same time, it awakened within me the courage to seek something greater. "Therion," a soft, distant voice was heard, though now it seemed to come from within. "Do not fear, for only by confronting your past can you unlock the path to the future. I couldn't tell if it was the echo of the ancients or the cry of my own soul, but that message propelled me forward, even as my steps slowed and the path grew winding. Amid this labyrinth of memories and symbols, every detail seemed to hold the promise of profound revelations. The atmosphere was filled with tension and mystery, and every object, every stone, was like a reliquary that held secrets about the sacrifices and courage of those who had come before me. When the darkness of the labyrinth reached its peak, the environment began to tremble as if shaken by an unseen force. The sound of distant footsteps, now mixed with the rustle of leaves being ripped from the ground, heralded that I was on the brink of facing one of the most intense trials on this path. From the midst of the gloom, a figure emerged. Not an ally I knew, but rather a manifestation of my own memory, or perhaps a personification of the fears that had always haunted me. The figure was a blend of light and shadow, with features that alternated between the familiarity of a face I might have known and the despair of a reflection that seemed to reject me. It approached slowly, and its eyes, burning with a disturbingly intense light, met mine as if they could penetrate every corner of my soul. "Therion," the figure said in a voice that seemed to come from a distant past. "To move forward, you must confront the pain you carry and accept that every scar is part of your destiny." At that moment, I felt the world around me come to a standstill. Every beat of my heart resounded like a drum, marking the rhythm of an internal struggle echoing throughout the labyrinth. The figure drew nearer and, in a symbolic gesture, extended its hand as if to touch mine. I felt a surge where cold and heat mingled simultaneously, a sensation of reliving all my anguish while also awakening a dormant power. In a cry of both despair and acceptance, I allowed the energy of the black flame to surge through me, permeating every part of my being. The inner barriers I had once erected for protection crumbled, and in that instant, I saw my fears reflected in the figure's eyes. "You cannot flee from yourself, Therion," the voice echoed, as images of painful pasts and moments of triumph interwove before my eyes. I felt the weight of all my choices, the losses, the betrayals, and the moments of solitude. Simultaneously, I realized that to move forward, I must embrace this pain and transform it into strength. Every tear that threatened to fall, every sigh of anguish, merged with the energy pulsating in my hands, creating a powerful current that carried me to a new level of self-knowledge. In that moment, I understood that the trial of the spirit was not merely a battle against external forces, but a journey of confronting and accepting oneself, with all one's flaws and virtues. When the visions began to fade and the dark figure dissolved into the air, a heavy silence settled over the labyrinth. I remained there, alone with my memories and the palpable energy of the black flame. The environment, once vibrant with the whispers of the past, now appeared calm, yet it carried the weight of a truth I could barely comprehend. My hands still trembled slightly from the remnants of the unleashed power, and every beat of my heart reminded me that to transcend, one must accept not only pain but also the hope that emerges from it. "The past always speaks," I heard echoing in my mind, "and only by facing it can you forge a future where light and shadow unite in balance." Those words, repeated like a mantra, led me to understand that true ascension does not lie in escape, but in the courage to confront the ghosts that reside within us. With a blend of pain and clarity, I felt that the trial of the spirit had come to an end, yet the scars from that experience marked the beginning of a profound transformation within me. The responsibility of bearing the power of the black flame now intertwined with the need to truly know myself, and each fragment of memory that surfaced served as a lesson to be learned. I looked around at the symbols carved into the stones and at the whispers still lingering in the air, and I knew that, although the labyrinth of memories was only one part of the path, it would be fundamental in forging my identity as the heir destiny demanded. With the sun slowly rising, bathing the labyrinth in a soft golden light, I sensed that the environment was gaining a new dimension. The trees, the streams, and even the air now carried a sense of renewal, as if the universe itself recognized the courage of those who dare to face their own ghosts. I sat for a long moment, absorbing every detail, the subtle rustling of leaves, the distant murmur of the stream, and the echo of memories still lingering in the air. I closed my eyes and allowed the energy I had released to settle, transforming the internal turmoil into resolute calm. In that silence, the words once spoken by voices from the past and by my own heart intertwined, reaffirming that the journey toward ascension was long, but that every battle, every tear, and every scar contributed to the creation of a new self. The future is sculpted by the choices we dare to make, I thought, as the light of dawn gently penetrated the treetops, revealing the path before me. rising with difficulty yet with renewed determination, I felt that the labyrinth was not merely a test, but a new beginning, an opportunity to delve deeper into what it truly meant to be the heir of the Black Flame. I, Therion, now faced the reflection of my own fears and hopes, knowing that true transformation would arise from the sincere confrontation of every painful memory and the acceptance of each scar. As the first rays of sun outlined a horizon full of possibilities, I stood up, resolved to move forward. The labyrinth of memories had instilled in me a new conviction, that to transcend one's destiny, one must not only master the power I carried, but also learn from the secrets whispered by the past. With the black flame pulsing gently in my hands, I advanced along the trail that disappeared into the vast forest, aware that each step toward the truth would be filled with challenges, yet also with the promise of rebirth. And so, with a heavy heart but filled with a hope that refused to be extinguished, I began the next chapter of my journey, a path where light and shadow, entwined in an eternal dance, would guide me toward a future in which I might finally find the redemption I had long sought.
Did you enjoy the video? Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. This helps us know which stories you love most and which ones we should prioritize in future productions. Your support is essential for us to keep bringing you the best manhwa content every day. See you in the next episode.